Okay, I have Kendra here with me. Kendra was one of my clients for actually a pretty long time. We
Mhm.
coached together for maybe, I want to say 18 months, maybe. It was a
At least.
chunk,
Yeah.
at least, yeah. And then I got to coach your husband, which was really neat. So I thought you'd be a great person to have on here to kind of help people see if we can help people relate to you a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people can relate to you. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Maybe they can see themselves in you.
Okay. Well, I guess this story starts when I got remarried. And me and my husband, we've been married for 9 years, but it's a his, mine, and our family. He had two teenagers when we got married, and then a younger boy. I had one, so we had four together.
Mhm.
And um, my job was forcing me to go full time, so I quit my job so we could take care of these kids now. I went from one to four.
Mhm.
And then we had um one more. So then we had a total of five. And um so then I had new baby. We had just tons of bad situations with the step kids and their mom, and it was just really, really hard and really difficult. And so after I had the baby, there were some big incidences that happened. Um, and I had the baby, and then just, like postpartum depression, but then it just didn't leave.
Mhm.
And I tried a whole bunch of different things. I've tried, medication and hormone replacement and counseling and a whole bunch of different things. And they helped a little bit. Um, with coaching, or not coaching, with counseling, I would get really frustrated because I would go and just vent for an hour,
Mhm.
and then it felt good to vent, but I really didn't feel like I got anything concrete, like
Mhm.
this is going to help me. And I'm like, I can go pay for, or I mean, I can just go vent to a friend for free. Why am I taking this time and spending this money for counseling?
Mhm.
Because it wasn't. I mean, it's not that it wasn't working at all. It just wasn't doing what I wanted it to.
Okay. Yeah. You were looking for traction and moving forward and tools, and it was providing you one thing, but you wanted something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And I remember
So,
you found me on Google, right?
yeah, I have Facebook actually,
Oh,
just
okay.
searching out depression
Mm-hmm.
groups.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I thought that I needed like a step family specific counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what I found with your coaching is that it didn't really matter. In
Mm-hmm.
counseling, it does, but in coaching, it didn't really matter because everything that I learned could be in any part of my life. I could use it.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though I wasn't like, we weren't coaching, well, we were coaching narrowly on your situations, but the tools I was giving you, you were able to use in any situation.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used it in my marriage. I used it with my step family. I used it with my kids, and with depression also.
Okay. Yeah, that's amazing. So tell me what intrigued you about coaching before you had been coached. Why did you keep looking into it after you had, learned about coaching?
I stalked you for quite a while.
I didn't know this. What's a while? I love to
um,
hear.
I don't remember. Probably at least a few months.
Okay.
Um, But it's not covered by insurance. So that was a big holdback.
Mm-hmm.
But what I learned about that was it was totally worth the investment.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up going back to you multiple times because it was worth it. Even during COVID, when, my husband lost his job, and that was really hard. And we're like, well, we don't have the money. We can't afford it. But then again, we can't afford not to. And
why do you say that?
Why
you can't afford not to?
Just like emotionally, like we were going down just like the spiraling down,
Yeah.
And so we weren't going to be able to move forward through this because we were just emotionally not there.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I bet a lot of people are like, yes, amen, sister. Like they feel exactly the same way as you do. So yes, that totally makes sense. So tell me then, what put you guys over the edge at the beginning before you coached with me and you were like, it's expensive, it's not covered by insurance. Why did you guys decide to try it?
Probably desperation.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you to be like, okay, yeah, that was the right choice?
Oh, probably instantly, because I came away, like I didn't cry in your sessions. I like, I didn't have to bring the tissues, which was nice. Yeah. And I heard what I needed to hear. Emily doesn't sugarcoat things. Like she tells you what you need to hear, and she's not afraid to tell you that. And so that's good. And, just giving me homework and things that I could actually use in my toolbox in life. Like, yeah. And it took me a while to learn because, just because it takes a while.
Yes.
And we're still learning, but I have noticed that, the more that I coached with you and the more that I learned this, the more I'm able to do it on my own.
Yeah. And that's the goal, right? Like I always wanted you to graduate from coaching. I wanted you to have the tools to do it on your own, and people, I still have a coach, so it's okay to have a coach forever, but also, I'm not always there, and I want you to have the tools to, have a difficult conversation, and not have to wait for a coaching session, which hopefully that's what you got from coaching with me.
Oh yeah. And that's another difference between a counselor too, is like, if I really needed you, you were just a text away, like, what do I do in this situation? Yes. And that was awesome.
That was
an example of how it implemented in my life in a big way. Mm-hmm. My stepdaughter got married last summer.
Okay.
And she went through the temple with her husband, and her future mother-in-law asked to be her escort. Mm-hmm. And my first thought was, I've been in her life longer. I deserve to have this experience with her. Mm-hmm. I deserve to be there and do this with her. And, I kind of caught myself and I can spiral in these thoughts. So then how do I want to feel today? How do I want to experience today? Mm-hmm. And and then I was like, okay, so then my thoughts changed to how great it is she has a mother-in-law that wants to do this, and how great, she has another good example in her life. And if I couldn't have the relationship I wanted with my stepdaughter, maybe she can have that relationship with her future mother-in-law. And so it totally changed the whole feeling, and I was just grateful to be there with her in the session and
Wow.
sit by her. And, it was just a really sweet experience. And I could have totally ruined that with my thoughts.
Like ruined your own experience of it. Yeah. I have like chills because I feel like those particular thoughts did not come to my mind of like how grateful it is, like how amazing that she has a mother-in-law that loves the temple, that loves her, that wants to be in her life. Like those are hard thoughts to find in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I definitely wouldn't have gone that direction if I hadn't gone through the coaching.
Yeah. But like what an amazing, you really created such a cool result for yourself, because instead of distancing yourself from her, you were able to draw closer to her because you were in the temple, you were loving her, you were loving the experience. Like I'm just super impressed. What a neat experience. I'm like a proud mama right now. I'm really proud. That's awesome. Okay. So we'll finish up, but just tell me any other results, just things that changed for you, things you notice are different about you, things that changed in your life as a result of coaching.
Well, it's not like I don't have depression or, hard times or get frustrated, but it's not that I'm like down in bed and can't do anything. My cycle was in bed for a day and all I could do was play games on my phone. That's all I could do. And just like make sure the kids were fed.
Yeah.
And then second day, maybe I'd turn on a podcast or something.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of hiding in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen anymore. I just, I get down, but I'm able to work through it so much faster.
Mm-hmm. Which is the goal. Because even though I like to think that, yes, I can heal my depression, I like that because I like that thought, right? But the truth is, whether it's depression or something else, we're all going to have things that keep popping up and making, life feels very hard. But the goal, I think, is to lean into that so we can get through it quicker, so we can just feel horrible for an hour so that we can then be like, okay, like I'm back at it. I think that's the goal, not really to erase all the negative emotion, but to be able, I hope that you can see, hopefully that this conversation helped you remember how far you've come. That would be like my favorite thing about doing this, is that you would see how far you've come, because really that's incredible. It's a huge change for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
What
we've still got chaos.
Yeah, that's right.
It's always chaos and I'm always just surviving, but
yes.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. People, if they knew me, they'd be like, wait, you want to help me? Because my life is crazy also. But the calm is in here, right? Like it looks crazy on here, but there's a little bit of calm inside of me. So the last question I want to ask you is, your husband got coaching from me. What results did you see from him from like a wife's perspective? Or like even what results changed for you with him learning the tools?
He was definitely like, it was really nice for me because he understood where I was coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really nice. And I mean, he had more of a situational depression.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really scary. But he was able to pull out of it.
And I have to add that I think it was like a full force. It wasn't just me. We had lots of people coming from all angles to help your husband, which I thought was really cool. And that's why I've never like really put down any other kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Profession, right? Sometimes it's like, let's come from all angles. And I have a lot of clients that I'm like, make sure you're seeing your family practice doctor, or,
he had a counselor that was amazing. And he also had a psychiatrist and you. Yeah. So he learned lots of tools from all of them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. You're amazing. I'm so proud of you. It was so fun to connect, and we'll talk soon for sure.
Okay. Thank you, Emily.
My chair.